What's up, guys? Man, it's your boy King coming back at you with another video, man. And on today's video, man, I simply want to talk about vitamin D deficiency and my story with vitamin D deficiency, man. I know it's a lot of people out there going through similar health issues as well, so I just wanted to give my story and what happened with me and my journey or whatever. So make sure you like, share, subscribe to the content. I know some of the people that already subscribe to me are used to me making, football content or whatever, but this channel is now gonna reposition itself to talk about things that move me. So if you want to unsubscribe, I definitely understand. But yeah, man, my journey with vitamin D deficiency, man, it was a long journey, man. So if you know me, you know I'm a guy who like to work out. You know what I'm saying? I've been working out since I could work out. You know what I'm saying? I've been working out since high school, middle school, whatever. I've been an outside, outdoors type of guy. I'm outside right now. So yeah, one day I was in the gym and I was just working out, doing my sprints on the treadmill, and I noticed that I started getting almost slight lightheaded, but not completely lightheaded. I got lightheaded to the point where I could manage it, not like I'm about to pass out. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like I wasn't getting enough oxygen to the brain, and I just kept pushing through it each day. But each day it got harder and harder and harder. So when it got to the point where I'm like, yo, this ain't passing through. Like this looks like something that's here to stay. Like, what is going on with me? Why I can't breathe properly? Why I'm not getting enough oxygen to the brain? That's when I decided to make a doctor's appointment to figure out, like, yo, what's going on with me? So I make the doctor's appointment. Man, doctors just be freestyling, man. You go to them with a problem, make sure you're detailed about all of your symptoms, man, because they'll just throw something together and just send you up out of there with some antibiotics or antidepressant or something like that, man. So I go to my doctor, I'm just letting him know, because at the time I only had one symptom, and that was shortness of breath. And he basically said oh, I think you may have a constricted artery. And he was like, do you smoke? At the time I was smoking hookah or whatnot. And I was like, yeah, I smoke hookah from time to time, but not every day. So I take his word. I'm like, okay, maybe it is the hookah. So, he was like, yeah, over time it's gonna, you might have a constricted artery. So, that those hookahs, they're bad for you. And, I knew they was bad, but I didn't think, I'm seeing people smoke hookah every day. I'm not thinking I have an issue. So yeah, he told me, oh, I think you have a constricted artery. He doesn't prescribe me anything. He just basically sends me on my way, and I, go back home. And I then started noticing some digestive symptoms coming on. I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on with me? I barely could breathe. Now I'm having digestive symptoms. And then that's when I started getting muscle weakness, to the point where I just couldn't work out no more, because as soon as I work out, my heart rate is through the roof off the slightest exercise. I couldn't breathe, as if I was just in a high altitude area. It was just, it almost felt like on an airplane, when you're on the airplane and you could breathe, but you can't really just get a good, you know what I'm saying? It just felt like I had a lot of pressure in my body, and it was just weird. So then I started developing GERD symptoms. And with the GERD, it brought on anxiety with the GERD, you know what I'm saying? Because with GERD, you can have a lot of symptoms that feel like your heart. So I started having acid reflux, burning in my stomach. I started having palpitations. I started having the shortness of breath got worse, to the point where I'm just if I get out of bed too fast, I'm damn near about to faint. It got bad, man. So it got to the point where the panic attacks got so bad that I was going to the emergency room almost every day, because I'm the type of person where, if I feel like something's coming on, I'm gonna be proactive and go and attack it before it attacks me. So I'm going to the emergency room, and they like, hey, what brings you in today? And I'm like, I can't breathe. Like I can't breathe. I feel burning in my esophagus, my stomach, and I just can't breathe. So they do the basics. They do the, check your blood pressure. They do the EKG. They do the chest X-ray or whatever. They did a CT scan as well, and they couldn't find anything. They're like, oh, you're good. I mean, you everything looks good. You're healthy. Blah 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 blah. If you've been through this, you know what it is, man. So they sent me on my way with some proton pump inhibitors. So if you ever been on proton pump inhibitors, I advise you to get off, because if you have a vitamin deficiency, it's only going to make it worse, because it's going to block your body's ability to absorb nutrients, therefore making you even more deficient. And these people know this. These people's job is to get you to keep coming back, because that's how they make money. So I'm on a proton pump inhibitors, and I don't take pharmaceuticals, but I was so desperate that I'm like, maybe this will help me. So I'm taking the proton pump inhibitors, and I just, with pharmaceuticals, you're gonna have some side effects. That's just what comes with it. So I'm taking the proton pump inhibitors, and I'm just feeling like the anxiety is getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm just like feeling weird and having all these different body sensations. I'm like, man, I'm going crazy right now. Like, I need some relief. It was getting crazy. So the proton pump inhibitors made everything worse, man. So I go back to my doctor, and he sends me to a thyroid specialist. He said, oh, I think you may have an overactive thyroid. So he sends me to a thyroid specialist, and then on top of that, he sends me to a cardiologist, and then on top of that, he sends me to a chiropractor. So my tab is just running up at this point. My tab is just going crazy. Like, I got the works, basically. When you go to the car wash and you ask for the works, that's basically what I was getting, the works. They was giving me the works. So my tab is just running up, from ER visits to all these different specialists I'm going to. And it was just like, now that I think about it, I'm like, bro, didn't even check my vitamin levels. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are they teaching these doctors in school? Or is it just something that they're just blatantly missing to keep you coming back to run up your tabs? That's what I'm thinking. So I go to the cardiologist. They give me like this heart monitor to take home with me. I take the heart monitor home with me, and everything is good with it. You know what I'm saying? Everything is good. I'm not having any issues or whatnot. So I brought the heart monitor back. They also, he sent me to a thyroid specialist. I had like I had an underreactive thyroid, because vitamin D is a hormone. Since I didn't have any vitamin D or sufficient vitamin D, my thyroid was unresponsive, like basically operating operating in a position to where it wasn't working properly, which was also causing symptoms. And then the chiropractor, surprisingly enough, out of all the doctors I went to, I felt a little better when I left the chiropractor. I don't know, maybe it was just something in my head, I don't know, but I felt a little bit better when I left the chiropractor. Maybe because he was like he had good people skills, I don't know. I just felt a little bit better when I left the chiropractor. So then I go back home, and the journey continues. So I'm going back home, and I'm just still having problems, still having symptoms. So I turn to Google. So I just type in every single one of my symptoms, like muscle weakness, shortness of breath, stomach issues. And of course, Google's gonna bring up the worst. So then I'm just like, I just felt like, I don't know, I just stumbled upon this article that said vitamin D deficiency. Cause I'm like, damn, you see cancer, you see the worst shit, and you just like, man, I hope I don't got that. So you keep scrolling until you see something that's like, maybe it's this, you know what I'm saying? And then I was like, I saw the article that said vitamin D deficiency. So when I saw the article that said vitamin D deficiency, I said to myself, like, damn, I go click on the causes. the causes is, you know, melanated people, we don't get as much vitamin D as, you know, Caucasians or not, because we have melanated skin, which blocks the sun, the absorption from the sun. So we have to be damn near outside for 2 or 3 hours ass naked to get the vitamin D that we need, opposed to a white person. Or you can get it from, you know, dairy products and things like that, but I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't really eat dairy like that. So and then on top of that, I work from home and I work inside, so I don't get in the sun as much as I used to. So that made sense. So I was like, you know, something about it just resonated with me, where I was just like, this is it. So I call the doctor's office and I say, hey, I want to get checked I want all my vitamins checked. You know what I'm saying? This was not my doctor's requesting this. This was me requesting this. And I said, I want all of my vitamins checked. So they say, sure. You know what I'm saying? So I go up there and they do all my vitamins, and my vitamin D levels was at an 11. The optimal level is between 30 and above, but it depends on who you go to, because some people will still say you're deficient at a 30. But mine was at 11, which universally that's deficient. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's it. So I go, he calls me and say, oh, yeah, man, you have a severe vitamin D deficiency. And I'm just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So I go up there, he writes me a prescription. And here's another thing. He writes me a prescription for vitamin D2, which is a synthetic form of vitamin D that will be harder for my body to absorb and will also cause side effects. So I'm just like, bro, what? I'm just like, bro, this pharmaceutical industry is crazy to me, bro. It's almost like you guys go to school for all these years, but you still are just doing wrong by people. And that's why I don't trust doctors. That's why, you know, if I do go to the doctor, it's just to get it's just to get my blood work checked, you know, obviously STDs and shit like that. But outside of that, bro, like anything they prescribe me, I could tell you a herb to take it. You know what I'm saying? When they gave me the proton pump inhibitors, you know, it was making me feel worse. So then I typed in, you know, I became a Google specialist. I typed in herbs for gastritis, herbs for GERD or whatnot. Started taking slippery elm, zinc carnosine, DGL licorice, and didn't have any other problems with gastritis or GERD or anything like that. So boom, he gives me the vitamin D2. I get home, I throw it away. I go to Vitamin Shop, I go pick me up the highest dose of vitamin D they have, because he prescribed me like 50,000 IUs of vitamin D2. So I get the vitamin D3 and I started taking it. When I tell you, it was almost like my body just said thank you. It was like my body just said thank you. I immediately felt better. Like I immediately started feeling like better. Like I wasn't at 100%, but I felt like my body was saying, yes, you did it. We're on the right. It's almost like a car when you put gas in it. Like it started running better and things like that, or changing the oil or whatnot. That's how my body felt. My body was almost just telling me like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I took the vitamin D3, and make sure you're taking it with vitamin K2, because K2 is gonna, you know, tell the vitamin D where to go. So your vitamin D, when it gets in your body, it's gonna put a lot of calcium in your body. You don't want the calcium to go into your arteries and places that it's not supposed to go. So the vitamin K2 is gonna tell, you know, it's gonna basically direct the calcium where to go. So into your bones and places where it needs to go. So make sure you're taking make sure you take K2 every time you take your vitamin D. And then also make sure you take magnesium, because magnesium will get depleted if you're taking high doses of vitamin D3. So yeah, man, I tell anybody, man, I tell anybody that you're gonna be the only person in charge of your health, man. Your doctor's not gonna care about your health as much as you care about your health. You are in control of your own health, man. So if you gotta research and second guess and get a second opinion, do what you gotta do, man, because I could have been cured on the first doctor visit if he would have checked my vitamin D levels that day. You know what I'm saying? But he decided not to check my vitamin D levels until damn near 6 or 7 ER visits later. And I went to him with it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't suggest that. He didn't do his due diligence. I was just another patient to him. So, and I even went to an African American doctor just because I felt like maybe he would relate to me more, maybe he would look out. I don't know, but it's not true, man. They're all the same. I ain't gonna say they're all the same, but they're not gonna care about your health the same way you care about your health. So make sure you do your due diligence, man. You can save yourself a lot of visits, and there's a lot of people out here taking antidepressants thinking they really depressed, but your vitamins may be low, man. And that goes for, you could be depressed because you lacking potassium. You could be depressed because you lacking vitamin D. You could be depressed because you lacking magnesium. You can be depressed because you lacking B12. Just make sure before you accept taking medication for a period of time, make sure you do your due diligence and have your doctor test your vitamins, because once I got the vitamin D in my body, I felt completely normal again. So that's all I wanted to come and share with you guys today, man. I know it's a lot of people out here going through the same things, but yeah, man, health is wealth, and you only got one life to live, so make sure you live it to the fullest, man. But this your boy Akeem coming back at you with another video. I'm out. Peace.